Let's take a look at some of the photos of David's Hollywood Hills home where 14-year-old Celeste was allegedly murdered. This is after it was raided when they were cleaning up for a new tenant. This is the garage. Now, it's believed that Celeste was lured to the house and stabbed inside of the home. It doesn't specify where that happened. It just says that David watched her bleed out. Then the prosecution alleges that in the garage is where he buys that inflatable pool, chainsaw, shovel, and prepares everything he needs to dismember her and destroy evidence. They did find evidence that was consistent with an alleged attempt to dismember Celeste's body. That includes biological samples that were tested positive for Celeste's blood, which just further proves that he's either A, dumb, or B, thought that he was so untouchable that even after 5+ months, he still didn't get rid of evidence in the garage. It even sounds like to me he didn't even dispose of the pool because it says that cuts in the pool material and fragments were later tested and matched physically to the blue fragments in her remains. Now, David's home was raided in September 2025 after Celeste's body was found. These photos specifically were from October 2025, so about a month later when cleanup crews were clearing out David's belongings from the home. They said that bags of clothing and other personal items were being thrown out as the property was being prepared for a future renter. Which I understand, this is somebody's house and this is how they make money, make a living, but the fact that so soon after this was discovered, they were clearing it out and ready for it to be rented to somebody else after a literal child was murdered and dismembered in there is kind of insane. In fact, the previous homeowner told TMZ that he wanted to move on from the situation and re-rent the property, and now the house is back on the rental market. And again, my opinion, saying you want to move on from the situation is kind of insane. This is another picture that they posted. I'm not really sure what they're trying to insinuate by pointing to the refrigerator. Nowhere that I've seen mentions anything about like her remains or any evidence being stored in the refrigerator. So to me, this is kind of misleading, but it is TMZ, so maybe they know something that I don't. And in case you're curious about the details on the house, it was quietly listed about 3 weeks ago and is being rented fully furnished. The asking price is reportedly more than $23,000 per month. It is a 4-bedroom, 4.5-bath home with about 4,300 square feet. It has high-end finishes, terraces, lounge areas, indoor-outdoor living, and a scheduled resort-style pool on a quiet hillside street. Sounds nice if you forget about the fact that a child was groomed, murdered, and dismembered in there.